Dang, I do have a lot of pocketbooks out here. And they're gonna be here until my birthday because I don't have time for it. It's just too much work. I don't have no energy.
I don't know.
What's up, people?
We're recording?
Yes.
Hello.
And we're back with another video. Won't be as long because we pretty much already disagree. So,
As usual.
So, I don't know how I'm gonna find the video to add it in here. I guess I can find it on Google. Still doesn't mean anything actually. But, so, you guys are probably gonna have to research this one on your own. But it's a commercial out here by Sadie Hook.
Sandy.
Oh.
Is it Sandy?
I honestly don't know.
Allegedly.
But I'm sure if you start typing the word, it'll come out. But it's a commercial, and it's back to school. School has started now, so I guess we're a little late.
A little bit.
But Sadie, whoever she may be, did a commercial about back to school, and the kids are in an active shooting scenario. And a lot of people disagree with the video, and they say that it's not a good commercial, it's just
Trash.
ridiculous,
To say the least. It's trash.
and then I'm so far away, you should have told me to move it more.
You didn't really know where else to move it. Come sit closer to me. Come on in.
No, I can't really see you.
I can see me.
But people really don't like the commercial, and I love the commercial. I really do. It's the realest commercial that America has ever seen, and that's what really people have an issue with, I think.
Tell me why you like the commercial.
Because it's real. It's reality.
So, give me the details in the commercial that are reality for you.
The whole shooting scenario. What I feel like isn't reality is the part where the kids actually fend for themselves or aid another peer. Like, that's not reality. And I feel like nobody's taking that out of the commercial. They're just concerned that they're getting to see what people have already experienced. And I don't understand. This has happened. It's not like it was a made up situation. It's a made up scenario. This really took place. We're actually seeing what people witnessed. I don't see what the big deal is.
So, I find the commercial completely disgusting, actually.
Really?
Absolutely. It's horrible. I don't
I'm
know
not there.
who creative content passed this, but it's disgusting.
I want them on my writing team.
Anywho, because to me, in the video, when you go research it, you'll see for yourself. In the video, it shows different scenarios, children in a classroom trying to get out. One little boy said his parents bought him that skateboard for Christmas or something.
Mm-hmm.
He used that skateboard as a weapon to break the glass and get out the window so he could jump out the building and escape the active shooter.
Smart.
And that was a smart move, but it's already a classroom. It's so many objects in that bitch that you could use to get out. But it's crazy because in actual school and work active shooter training, they teach you don't break shit and don't make a lot of noise. Shut the fuck up and lock the room door and stay in there and be quiet. So all these kids yelling and screaming and crying and running out, it was complete contrast of what they've been teaching us for the last 2 or 3 years.
Who's been teaching what?
Jobs in schools.
My job ain't teach me nothing.
Guess they did. We took that training.
What training? You talking about the active shooter training?
I ain't just say active shooter training. So that's the complete opposite of what they tell you to do, making all that noise and breaking shit. Then there was a little boy, 2 little boys sitting in the hallway. One little boy, I don't know if he fell and bust his knee, if he got shot up in the knee, but his knee was bleeding profusely. So he took off his socks to help him stop the bleeding and just tied it around it. I mean, I'm all for I'm all for teaching our children how to protect themselves because this is a reality. Shootings do happen now. They shouldn't, but they do. But I don't feel like this video taught my kid anything about how to really take care of themselves in that scenario. Even the little girl hiding out in the bathroom, she texted her mom and said, "I love you, mom." A couple seconds later, the shooter allegedly walking in the bathroom finna get her. Like it's the end game for her. Like that. I don't feel like there was no reason. There was no reason to display that. Because I feel like it's gonna promote more fear than awareness, and that's the reason why I don't like it.
Really? How?
Because my kid's gonna think that they don't have a chance. They gotta go through a broken window. They gotta hide in the hallway with their friend that's bleeding. They gonna get shot up in the bathroom. It just, to me, was more fear than preparation.
That's the problem with America because everybody's emotions are focusing on the fact that it's a negative instead of making their children aware. Yes, it could promote fear, but that's only if you allow it. Instead of saying, this is what you might actually encounter, and so this is what you need to prepare for. Not to sit there and dwell on the negative and dwell on the fact that this has happened or whatever the scenario that they presented. You need to be prepared for this. Somebody's going to come up in that school busting for no reason. So you need to be prepared for this. This is our reality. I don't feel like it's a negative. Nobody should take it in a negative connotation. It's awareness. I mean, it didn't say anything about the gun laws, which at the end of the day, nobody in the government is going to change. So this is where we as a people need to protect ourselves because the government don't give a darn about us. All these kids are being killed, and the only response to that was to then add more guns to the situation. In this video or commercial, you didn't see what the government said and the teachers have guns. They showed what really happens.
In this video, it was problematic to me because I didn't see any adults. It was just children fending for themselves. There was no teacher around, no principal. There was nobody there. They were just fending for themselves. And it just, to me, it was distasteful because children internalize, when you're young, you internalize the things that you're taught or the things that you see. And if they would have gone about it a different way to say, hey, this shit does really happen, but this is what you can do to protect yourself and your friends. This is what we are asking that you do. This is a smart way to handle the situation. There was no teaching moment in this at all for me.
Well, how do we teach? What could have been a teachable moment?
I feel like the training, which I think is stupid training that we have at work.
It's trash training, actually.
The training that we have at work teaches you to be quiet, lock the doors in the room, shut all the blinds, pretend like this is an empty room. Like nobody's in here, it's not being used for nothing, or it's a closet or something. That's what they teach you. So if that's what, whatever their plan is, if that's what they want to teach, then that's what they should have shown in this video.
But the training in the video that we get as full adults is trash. And it's not realistic because it doesn't put into the emotions that were exhibited in this commercial that they had with these kids.
And I think that's why I have a problem with it. This commercial was completely full of emotions. It wasn't full of any resolution. You didn't teach my kid. If this is the kind of picture you want to paint for my elementary child who live in Sandy Hook, you didn't teach my kid anything about how to not let this happen to them again in the future. Not that that's the school's responsibility because that's my job. I know that as an adult. But what's the purpose of the video if it's not to be helpful? Because it didn't help do anything.
But what else has anybody done to help do anything?
It don't matter about nobody else. These people put this video out and it didn't help do anything.
But they put guns out every day and we're just getting shot. So it's really no, what the person who made this commercial is expressing their emotions because they're tired of this shit. And I feel like that was the purpose. But everybody is taking it for their own and saying that this doesn't do anything. But at the same time, those people aren't doing anything either. Everybody's pretending like it didn't happen. Everybody is just I don't even understand the reaction as people not liking the commercial.
I've been in an active shooter situation, and this is just not something that I would have wanted to see prior to. I don't feel like it prepared me for anything. I don't feel like, even though it's a reality of what happened at their school, we're past that. I feel like we know what happened. We know it can happen at any point. What can we do about it? What can a 7-year-old do about that?
A 7-year-old can't do anything about that.
They were elementary students.
But a parent can take this as awareness and do something about it.
And so, in the world we live in, I just feel like people are impressionable, children and adults alike. You just gave me this piece of visual media to feed into me, to be aware of the situation that is a possibility for my child. What am I going to do based off of what you just gave me? Like, it wasn't motivational to me. It wasn't educational to me.
It wasn't. It was reality for everyone. And so now, what if there's a part 2? And this is what's going to piss me off. What if the part 2 of the commercial is informative? Nobody's going to give a fuck. And nobody's going to do anything in that informative video. So why are we focusing on the negative in the reality? And then when the real video that you really want to come out, it's just going to be like, oh, okay.
I mean, I feel like whoever made this video, maybe this was their first time, because we all know first impressions are everything. So yes, if a part 2 come out, you done already fucked up your chances, because this video was trash. So even if you have a decent message, a lot of people are not going to hear it.
That's bullshit.
It's absolutely not.
It really is bullshit, because no, you don't like the first one and then you get the second one. And this is why I can't stand America, because you're focusing on the negative, and then when the positive comes out, now that you have the positive, you're still not going to do shit. So what the fuck is the purpose, and what is going to be changed?
That's my question. What was the purpose of this video? And what is going to be changed based off of this informational video?
But now that if we get a part 2, then what's the change? If you're going so hard for this first one, and the fact that it didn't pinpoint on what you feel should have been showcased, now when it is, what's going to be done? You're still gonna bitch about anything regardless. So why? It's reality. So why are we not accepting the fact that this is reality and taking it for awareness when you're going to get what you want, sugarcoat it, and still not do anything?
So if it's reality and nothing's going to change either way, in my mind, I still don't understand what was the purpose of the video. If it wasn't
to show reality.
If it wasn't to invoke change, what was the purpose of the video?
How does that commercial not invoke change though?
Because there's nothing that to me, it was like a history lesson. This is what happened. This is also what can happen in the future.
This is what will happen in the future. Within the last year, how many shootings have there been?
It was just that simple. Like, there was nothing else to it. This is what had happened. This is what can happen.
This is what will happen. Not can, will. Because the school shootings have also increased.
But I mean,
since Columbine.
I was going to say, school shootings been going on since 1999. That's 20 years ago.
And still nothing has happened. And now that we see it, instead of saying, okay, we need to change this because this is really what's happening, just like all the other commercials, you go so hard for the tobacco companies that you shouldn't even smoke. Mind you, I don't even have cable, but when I do watch cable, how many smoking commercials do you see now? None. Mm-hmm. So, like, what's the big deal about now seeing the reality of our kids having to fend for their lives in school? Nobody complaining about the smoking commercials, and niggas is dropping like flies from lung cancer or whatever them things are in there.
And stuff. Mm-hmm.
They dying every day, dropping like flies. Mm-hmm. Cigarettes done went up in price, and they're still selling out of them.
I don't know if you remember the Truth commercials that came out about don't smoke, and this is the reasons why, and they listed all that shit, and they had a real hard campaign for years.
Mm-hmm.
they tried to make it better. They said, yes, this is an epidemic, this is an issue. We're trying to educate you and let you know why you shouldn't be doing this shit. They gave numbers and statistics and all this shit. I feel like this video didn't do that for me.
But why not? I would hope and feel that this is just the beginning of seeing these commercials.
I would hope as well. But what if this is it? What if there is no part 2? What if this is it? Then what?
I can't speak for everybody's household, but for mine, that commercial is awareness. I'm not getting into my emotions about it. It will be reality. Parker, this is what you gotta pay attention for, because this shit might actually happen. Mm-hmm. And so you need to be aware of it. I'm not gonna sit there and say that was distasteful, because what would have been distasteful is that they hear shooting in the hallway and they just sitting there looking like deers in headlights. Mm-hmm. That's not reality.
So now, okay, let's say me and my young child watch this video together, and let's say I was a shitty parent and I didn't teach my child no different. So if my kid were to hear shooting in the hallway, she thinks she's supposed to get up and break a window and try to get the fuck out of there. Like, to me, it's just not realistic. It's a reality because it is a situation, but a 7-year-old can't break no fucking window. You know?
Well, that kid who broke the window wasn't.
He was big as fuck. I don't know who's great.
He definitely wasn't 7. He
was 10.
He was at least 7th grade.
He was big. But I'm just saying, those kids who got shot, they were like 6 and 7.
Exactly. So my thing is, they even did it where it was older kids. It wasn't even younger kids.
Yeah, I was
so
glad
you
for that.
still have to tell your younger kids what the reality is. I just wish America would stop fucking getting their emotions in the way, because then we could see clearer and stop trying to make things so passive aggressive?
Mm-hmm.
And just be aggressive.
I've been outraged since Columbine. Really and truly. I'm like, dang, all them white kids was locked down on campus. They didn't know what the fuck was going on. We didn't know what was going on watching the news. It was just so crazy. It felt crazy. It was the first time I ever experienced anything like that. And I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there. So.
And because I didn't see it, automatically you think either, okay, that's never going to happen.
I thought it was some white folk shit. I ain't gonna lie. We
always think it's some white folk shit. And then, of course, even after that was in 2000. I think I just moved down to... No, that was in the 90s.
That was 99.
I was in New York. So, even after hearing that scenario, I still didn't learn anything about a school shooting.
Yeah, no.
I still couldn't place myself in that scenario, mm-hmm. because I always have the mindset mm-hmm. of, oh, this is not going to happen. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that video is letting us know, no, this shit really can happen.
It can.
And you need to pay attention to it.
Right.
But everybody's not taking it that way. And this is what I'm confused about.
Even as an adult, I was 18 or 19, working at a grocery store. There was an active shooter. Some man came in there acting crazy behind his boyfriend. Active shooting event. My stupid ass still was unprepared. Didn't know what the fuck to do. I'm standing there looking around like, this was that a gunshot or did a balloon pop? Because we be blowing balloons
right,
in
you
there.
really can.
I was like, what is this? I could have been dead and gone in that moment because I was unprepared as a 19-year-old. Here I am as a 30-year-old, just as equally fucking unprepared if it was to pop off at my job, because they're giving us the training showing that
nobody's taking it serious.
They give us a training saying, go to the closet or go here, go to this room and make sure everybody accounted for. But the person who probably doing the shooting is a disgruntled employee who watching the training. So I really still ain't safe. I don't really understand.
They still didn't give a real scenario either. Like, the scenario that they have is a nigga come in there
from
with
the outside
armored clothing. I'm sorry, if you walking in there with armored clothing, I'm gonna know
exactly
out.
what the fuck going on. Exactly.
Like, right. That's not a real scenario. So they're not taking it serious.
If I'm a 30-year-old unprepared at my job, I can only imagine a middle school, elementary school child, a high school or college child. I can only imagine how unprepared they are with this bullshit ass training they're giving us. They still not.
Nobody's
prepared.
taking it serious, and they're waiting until that shit smacks them in the face.
And then it's gonna be a problem.
And then it's gonna be like, oh well, damn, we should have took this more serious. Like, my high school to this day, that's a Caucasian school too. One officer for a whole campus.
Y'all must have been good students though, you know.
One officer, and then you have one security guard, and she could barely walk her damn self.
That's crazy because my middle school was the Sediti middle school in town. It was 4 schools. I was at the Sediti one. Girl, we still had metal detectors and 3 officers at a middle school.
We didn't have none
They
of
was
that
patting
shit.
that ass down every morning before breakfast. No, ma'am.
Must be nice to have some type of security.
I don't really think it was that nice, actually. But we had it. High school, we didn't have it. But middle school, we did. I wonder why.
We didn't have any of that. So anybody could have walked up in there with a whole bomb.
And that shit used to fucking happen. Like, people's kids, daddies and mamas would be arguing and shit. The daddy come to the school with a gun or with a knife and act like he wanted to take his kid away and take him out of class. We'd be on lockdown. Everybody got to get down on the floor, turn off all the lights, get away from the window by the door, lock the door. We had scenarios for outside people, but that's not even what it is anymore. It's inside people. You know? What if a teacher snap? What What them kids gonna do?
But the government wants the teachers to have guns.
Them gonna be the bitches that snap.
I want that to be the next commercial.
Oh, man, then what my baby gonna do?
And that's a scenario that hasn't happened. So then I could feel the emotion and feel some type of way because that hasn't happened. But what if it does?
I just feel like shooters on the highway, shooters in schools, shooters all over the damn place. Where is the resolution? Where's the resolution? I can teach and train my baby all day. But if her teacher shoot her, there's no preparation for that. You know? Where's the resolution?
That's the world we live in.
That shit's sad. It's real sad.
That's our spiel on the topic.
Man, y'all gotta go watch that video. I know y'all gonna side with me. I don't know what the hell she's talking about.
I do ask that you guys go and Google the actual commercial, but take something from it and definitely be safe out here because at this day and age, 2019, you just never know.
You'll never know.
You just really never know.
Let us know who you side with. Beauty
or Beast.
Not this one.
Beast. But alright, you guys. Until next time.
Thank y'all for watching.
Peace
Bye.
out and be safe. I got it pretty quick.